Hello, and welcome to our weekly ICT4D conference podcast. My name is Sonja Ritzel from CRS, and I'm interviewing experts for you to talk about digital development trends, innovations, and good practice. Today, it's my pleasure to interview Thomas Rubatscher from SOS Children Villages in Austria. Thomas, would you like to introduce yourself to our audience, please?
Hello, good morning. My name is Thomas Rubatscher and I work for SOS Children's Villages International as an IT director in the General Secretariat. We are based in Austria and SOS is a quite far-spread organization. We are in about 133 countries. And together with a team here in the international office, 25 people, and together with our regional colleague, we are providing some 15 global IT applications for our member associations around the globe.
Thank you, Thomas. Today, we'd like to speak about digital transformation and your IT strategy and priorities. Particularly this year has been forcing us to support our programs and partners at a distance. So really emphasizes the need for digital transformation. Where does SOS Children Villages stand in the progress of digital transformation?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say we are about halfway plus. Also considering this Net Top Digital Non-Profit Abilities Assessment, comparing us to others. So we are quite well. We did our homework in digitalizing most areas of our work to a reasonable extent, I would say, like fundraising, good parts of the administration, finance management, communication and collaboration tools, but also program planning and designing program responses. However, we cannot say that we are a truly digitally transformed organization yet. So this has, amongst others, to do with our work. We work for children and youth care and in family support, where digital transformation has a certain limit because we need really humans to work with our target group. But there is an increasing trend in our organization to put digitalization as a top prioritization. So the best indicator for this is probably the update of our Federation 2030 strategy, where digitalization is one of 5 priority areas. And what we want to achieve there in this strategy, in this digitalization strategy, is that we enable our children and young people for whom we take care to succeed in the digital age. We want to create new digital business models to engage donors, beneficiaries, and also partners more actively in value creation. And of course, we want to increase further organizational effectiveness by digitalizing processes, by strengthening digital learning systems and all these kind of things. So these 3 pillars will take us certainly closer to being a real digital organization in a couple of years.
Thank you. And I assume that this year you particularly have seen a big increase of using digital programming due to the COVID-19 pandemic and the travel ban and physical distancing. Would you like to share with us a little bit how SOS Children Villages has adapted to those changes and maybe also how you're supporting your partners and your communities these days?
When talking about partners and communities, I think we have to consider that SOS is an implementing organization. So we have probably fewer partners than other NGOs in the childcare area, but we have almost 10,000 own staff who work directly with our children and families in need. And when it comes about supporting them, we have currently 2 big pillars running. One is reducing the digital divide, provide our children and youth with the same chances, the same access to technology like their peers who are living in regular families. So we try to provide them in our villages, we try to provide them with computers, with internet access. We offer them digital tools for learning, but we also try to protect them by training them in online child safeguarding and similar things so that they are not exposed to these risks, which of course digitalization and the internet brings for our people. So this is what we call the digital village, and for the younger generation, so to say. And when they grow up, we offer also virtual trainings and mentorship programs to develop the young people and their employability skills. We are connecting young people with mentors from our partner companies virtually and to build networks they need and to help them in development of soft and professional skills. And on the other hand, we are trying to empower our caregivers, the people who work with our children, the people who work with our families in need, by providing them expert content on child and youth care to develop their skills. Imagine a caretaker in a slum in Nairobi. He or she is there taking all day long care about a lot of families, and he or she is alone there. There is nobody whom she can consult quickly. So what we design now is a kind of bot project, a chatbot project which offers our caretakers the possibility to ask concrete questions about very specific care issues. And they will have this bot on their mobile phone and can ask these questions there directly when they need it. We saw in an earlier project, in a technically simpler project in Asia, which we call Text to Change, which is a SMS-based learning system which can run also on simple feature phones. We saw that this works very well, that our mothers and our caretakers there accepted it very well. And this is why we wanted to do now, so to say, the next step in direction of artificial intelligence and in adopting this kind of modern technologies there. So it's really interesting to see what's happening in this area and how we can combine it with other digital tools which we have already in the field.
Thank you. That's exciting and a great way forward, and very much a trend we've been seeing in our various interviews and discussions this year, the increase of the use of chatbots and AI. Looking forward to see where this is going. So based on these main trends and current challenges, let's talk a little bit about how this might impact the future of your overall IT planning for the agency. You mentioned earlier that digital transformation was one of the 5 priority areas for SOS Children Villages. Would you like to explain a little bit more about the other areas of priorities?
Yes, of course. The key priority currently is a very traditional one, I would say. It's setting up and introducing our global ERP system and our new global program management system. And of course, going into more innovative projects in fundraising always, also where we, of course, have to search for innovation in order to increase the funds we need. This is maybe a very big chunk of our future work, of our future budget. On top of this, I just told you some initiatives which are running in the field, which have to do with educating, so to say, or supporting our caretakers better, with homeschooling possibilities for children, and of course also in the secretariat and in our national office we have the challenge, so to say, that with all these lockdowns and home office, we have to equip and to have to train people in a different way so that can work virtually better, that they have the equipment for this, that they are trained for this kind of virtual meetings, virtual events. So there's really a lot to do in the year ahead. We reached a really good level already in most offices, but we are not yet there where we want to be. And so we created our own special project called New Ways of Working, where we will further improve, so to say, in 2021 on these issues.
And as you said earlier, that the people are first, shall we talk a little bit about digital literacy or digital skills? Are there any specific skills you're seeing as something your organizations would like to focus on, or any gaps you're noticing that need to be addressed more in general?
Yeah, digital skills is, of course, a very big topic. When we change from a more analog world to a more virtual world, then, of course, the first thing which is obvious are these technical literacy skills, so that you can handle technology, that you can handle an online conference and so. On top of this, I see in the human way or so and the human behavior different needs, because there are people which are very haptic, so to say, and need these physical events, and there are other people who are much more adapted to virtual collaboration, to virtual teams, and they feel better in this environment. And so we have to look into this topic also and see how much can you train people and to which extent this is something built in somebody. Then digital responsibility is a very big topic for us because there are so many promises of this new digital and virtual way, but at the other hand, there are a lot of dangers and traps there also. We have to see that data protection is really going into the minds of people everywhere on the globe. that we don't risk anything here, that we don't risk staff data, that we put on risk donor data, but also not put on risk our beneficiary data. Yeah? So we are investing quite heavily into this, and we are trying by technical and by training means to improve also how people act in this way, and how they see that they perceive it, so to say, as a danger, and that they know how they can prevent from these dangers. Yeah, another thing is, of course, in this new world that, let's say, agile and Scrum methods have to replace waterfall methods, which is often difficult, I would say, even with management to discuss, because you can have a lot of agile project methodologies, but when you have waterfall budgeting, for instance, and waterfall planning behind it, then you will always have a very weak compromise. All the benefits of agility and agile projects you cannot fulfill, you cannot get when the organization behind is still a little bit on waterfall. And also the user-centric design thinking, and so it's also something which we still have to bring a lot into our organization, that we always think or design things really with the end user in mind, and not so much with the needs of the administration or the management. You see that there's still a lot to do. I think a lot of other organizations have similar problems, and we are trying also to exchange here and learn from other organizations also how they do and how they move forward in this area.
Thank you. Yes, you're right. There are very similar concerns across the whole sector, in particular the topics that involve a cultural behavioral change and increased awareness, like, as you said, human-centered design or the awareness around responsible data use. It's a slow process, but everybody is mentioning it, so I think we'll get there.
So we have to get.
I'm already at the end of my questions. Is there anything else you'd like to mention?
When you look at COVID, there are so many bad things, but like other colleagues already mentioned, it has good sides also. Yeah? The good side is that COVID put the spotlight on digitalization, and that within a very short time, mentality changed, and that we have much more attention now for these kind of projects, and there is real hope that we will continue and sail with this tailwind, so to say, of a bad thing coming over us and make it to something good.
That is a fantastic summary and a positive outlook to the future. Thank you so much. And thank you for sharing your insights with me.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for the opportunity to talk with you here.
More information about our upcoming podcasts and webinars can be found on our website, ict4dconference.org. Hope you will join us again next week.